What's up, guys? I wanted to show you something that you may not be doing already, but you should be considering. It is more of an indirect marketing initiative. With the tool that we have, or however you're doing your prospecting, you should be creating opportunities both for yourself and your clients through direct marketing initiatives and indirect marketing initiatives. We're going to take a look at that. So I just searched for accountants in St. Paul, Minnesota within a 25-mile radius. Got a bunch of them in here. You can find all kinds of stuff. You may have seen our other videos on that, but like if I want to see the phone types, I can see landlines, voice over IPs, landline, cell phone, whatever. So that tells me I can, if it's a landline, I can call it. If it's voice over IP, I can call it and drop it a voicemail. If it's a cell phone, I can call it, drop it a voicemail, and send it a text message. So that really helps determine your direct marketing initiatives. Obviously, you should probably check to see if they're on the Do Not Call registries. It checks both federal and state. They are on the national one versus they are not. So you have the opportunity to do all that stuff. We've talked about that in other videos. That is more for your direct marketing initiatives. I'm going to give us a little room in here and take out some of these. But what else can you do? Well, we're already finding their email addresses, right? So we've got all these people, and let's say you've seen all this. Let's say that we're going to check this person. We're going to check out these people. Let's say we're going to grab these and a couple of these people. It doesn't matter. The video is not about the prospecting tool so much as about what you can do with it. Now, so I've found a bunch of targets, right? Target people. I've got a workflow that I can hit where it assigns it to user, drops a cold voicemail outreach, waits, sends a text, sends an email. That's direct marketing initiatives. Today I want to talk about indirect marketing initiatives. I want to be front and center in their mind for anything, like if I'm calling, in this case on accountants, for anything related to them wherever they go. So how are we going to do that? Well, I would use some ads, some branding ads. So you could use the Google Display Network, you could use YouTube ads, you could use Facebook ads. How are we going to do that? Well, we've already got all these people, their email addresses. We're going to come over here and we're going to set up a workflow that is add to custom ads audiences. Now, High Level doesn't have a direct integration with the Google custom audiences, so we're going to work through that with the webhook. The Facebook one couldn't be easier. You integrate your account with Facebook in the integrations tab, and then you just go in and you literally just select your custom audience. It just couldn't be easier for Facebook. Google makes it a little more difficult. There is an API that's got an integration. High Level doesn't have it available, so we got to work through it with the webhook. I'm going to show you how we do that. So a couple things that you need to have set up to do this. You need to have a custom audience. Now, if you're not familiar with a custom audience, basically you're telling whatever ad platform that these are a list of people that I want to show ads to. That can be based off of an uploaded list that you tell them, like people with these email addresses or phone numbers. I want to throw ads to those people. It can also be set up for some kind of action or inaction on your website. So like if they add something to cart, but they don't check out, that would be an action and an inaction. You want to show them ads of that product or something like that. Outside the scope of this conversation, but what we're going to have to do is we got to create our custom audience in Facebook. It's in Facebook Business Manager. You go to your literally your audiences tab and you go just create one. Okay. And you're going to say that it's a custom audience, and we're going to pick out whatever trigger you want for the custom audience. It can be upload a list. Then we're going to do the same thing in Google, where you go to Tools and Settings, go to your Audience Manager. It's currently under Shared Library. You'll hit the New button and say you want to do a customer list. Now, you will have to upload. They give you a little template. You upload a list. I put like 4 or 5 in there. You choose the file, and then you can put a membership duration. I say no expiration. Upload it. Cool. Now what do? We go into Make. You can do this in Zapier as well. I just did it in Make. But when you go into Make, you're going to have a webhook that connects to your Google Ads customer, your custom audience. So what they're going to do is they're going to give you this webhook right here. It's just a URL. We need to copy that. And then when we go back in to our workflow right here, in the webhook itself, you will just paste that URL that you copied out of Make right here. So you'll press copy, you'll go over here, you'll paste it. And then you're going to pass it some custom data. In this case, I'm doing first name, last name, the company, and the email. You could do phone number, but if you're going to hit multiple people in one company, it's not going to have the phone number associated with it. So for the purpose of this, because we're pulling in business phone numbers, I don't really feel like that's going to be the best opportunity, so I'm using email. So in our workflow, it's really simple. And by the way, this is blurred out because this is Google Analytics. You can do it through Google Analytics, just much more complicated. So I did a webhook. It's just a lot more straightforward. So with the webhook, you're passing it to this URL, and then you go into your other side of your Make scenario to the custom audience. You select the customer list ID that you set up earlier. It's pulling this in from Google. Then you're mapping your fields, first name, last name, email, down here is company, whatever. Hit OK, no problem. And this was the look from Facebook. It's super easy for Facebook. So this is pretty straightforward. This is the only technically complicated part, if you want to even call it that. And then you're done. Now, how do we trigger this thing? A couple different ways. One, I did a tag. So if you tag somebody as accountant-audience, it will automatically do it. You can just drop them directly into the workflow. So let's see what this looks like. So when I'm here, I've got my workflows that pull in here. So if I wanted to drop them straight into like just this ads audience, I could do it. I could alternatively hit them into demo outreach, which would start this direct marketing. So if I wanted to do direct marketing and indirect marketing, I could drop them in there, and I could do the accountant audience. Now it would trigger both, right? Because it's going to add that tag, which is going to trigger my workflow to run, or I could just drop them directly in it. This would do both. It would set them up for direct and indirect, and you'd be good to go. So if we did that, they would start getting their text messages, voicemail drops, emails, whatever it is that you've set up in your workflow, and they will automatically be passed over by webhook to your Google custom audience, and then through Facebook, that custom audience that you've selected. Why do we do this? Well, now these people are going to start getting your ads. If it's Facebook, you've got the opportunity to send them ads through, obviously, Facebook, Instant Messenger, your Instagram account, whatever you want to do, even WhatsApp, some other opportunities that you have with Facebook. And then with Google, you have the Google Display Network. You've got YouTube ads is what I would really run for this. So you can start targeting these people. Now, we're passing their business email address over. So how does that part work? Well, both of these platforms, Google and Facebook, are really, really good at knowing what you do online. So even though I'm passing over your @domain.com, Facebook normally, our rep that's assigned to our account has said that they normally have 75 to 80% match rates on that. So because you're logged into Facebook and then you log into your work email, Facebook's pretty good at associating those two things. So about 80% of the time you get that right. And then on Google, it's the same thing. And not to mention that a lot more people actually have multiple Google accounts, like for YouTube, for example, where they might actually even be logged in with their work, in which case that would be 100% match. So that's how you do this. But again, what I want you to be thinking through is that you have the opportunity, however you're doing your prospect, whether you're using our tool, you're using somebody like ours, or you're just manually doing it, you should be thinking about how you can create these workflows that we have available to us in a high level to be able to set up direct and indirect marketing initiatives. And so many people kind of ignore or neglect the indirect side. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to walk you through this. If you know of a different way to do this, for instance, if you're using Google Analytics, or if you're using like an event trigger, or if you're using a Google AdWords account trigger, then if you've got a better way to do it, please let me know. I'd be happy to amend my workflow in my video. But this is a very straightforward way. It was really easy for us to set up. The webhook itself took like 5 minutes, and this took literally no time. You just select it from a drop down. Hope that helps, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.